Yes. Oh my goodness, how does it feel? How does it feel? We are back. I'm telling you, fresh off the jet, sharpening Gillette, the best you can get. I'm loose as a goose, fly them Beetlejuice. Ah! I'm here. I'm back. I know you miss me. Shit, I miss myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm here. I know, look, you ain't got to wait no more. I am here. How are we doing? I am here. Damn it. In the building. Live from the Sanctum Sanctiminium. Educate yourself on that shit. I'm here. I'm in the goddamn building. Damn, what you think? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Live in the Sanctiminium.
I missed it. I missed it a lot.
Yep.
Where'd it go?
Yeah.
He portaled his way out.
Yeah. Disappear, reappear on your ass. Yeah. Star Trek. Wait, I'm in here. Hold on. Fuck it. You get it. I'm back. How y'all doing, man? What's going on?
Good. How you doing, man? How's it going?
Man, I'm good, man. Tour was amazing. Man, thank y'all so much, man, for being patient. With me and Vinny. We disappeared. I know Vinny came back last week. I spent more time in LA than I felt like I should have. I mean, we did the show on Saturday, got back Wednesday night. It was incredible. The show was incredible. Don Tolliver showed up. Steve Lacy showed up. It was so many people there. So much love in LA. Had some incredible meetings. More stuff to come. The tour is good. We're feeling good, man. Feeling good, feeling amazing. It's good shit. But I'm ready. I was ready to get back home, get back to you guys, get back to the podcast. We got a new name, Only the Rarest. I'm going to get a damn ring. I'm finna go get a Green Lantern ring. It's gonna be all Pepe. I'm spending my Pepe money, and I'm getting it's gonna be a diamond ring. It's gonna be.
Marcus, clearly Ralph has moved on to Frog Coin, whatever the hell that is.
No, that's just a different. I felt like Pepe Maxi was kind of getting old, so I kind of had to switch it up and just.
I agree. That's cool.
Switch it up to Frog Coin Maxi instead of
Okay.
Pepe Maxi.
Is there a Frog Coin, or is this?
No, there isn't.
Okay. All right.
We're calling it the Frog Coin now. We've been in it long enough to move on from Pepe. We're calling it just the Frog Coin now.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure. You didn't make $1 million moves without us.
No. No, definitely not $1 million moves. I hope so.
Nice.
I mean, I ain't want to tell y'all, but he ain't the only Frog Coin Maxi out here. You know what I'm
Let's
saying?
go.
I mean,
Well, at this point, I think we're all Frog Coin Maxis, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I sleep on my Pepe coins every day. It's under the mattress.
I'm going to tell
sense.
y'all something, and I'm going to make a prediction, and this is a fair prediction. Give it 2 years, and Pepe will be where Doge is at. And if you just hold on, ride the wave.
Yes.
I know it's a lot of up and down. It's a lot of people, coming in and out. But there hasn't been a coin like Pepe since Doge and Shiba. Everything else that people are trying to do and trying to make runs with and all this other shit, it's not working. It may, if you know it and you get it in enough time, you can make some money, but you got to jump right back out. Me and Vinny jumped into one because of the alpha group chat. I'm not going to say no names, Vinny. We're not going to drop nobody in the grease, but we jumped into one. And normally when I jump into this meme coin shit, I hit Ralph. I said, Ralph, what do you think about this? And Ralph would be like, Ralph, this is all you hear Ralph doing. Yeah, don't do that. That's some bullshit. Don't do it. All right, Ralph, good. I ain't gonna touch it. So we didn't call Ralph on this one, and me and Vinny lost money. We didn't lose a lot of money.
Which one was this one?
I don't remember the name of it.
It's called Goner. I mean, the name is
Goner.
It was in the name. Goner. That money was gone.
Yeah. And so you look at like right now, some of these other people are doing things like like we talk about Pauly and and if you're following any of this meme coin stuff, Pauly was a Pepe guy. Now he's created his own one called Nothing,
Right.
and they basically tell you in the name like, hey, send money to this address, you will get nothing in return. And that's kind of like the thing, right? So you'll do this thinking that they being funny, and then your money gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You look up and your
Miami
damn money gone.
Brad
Yeah,
said
you know,
Miami coin.
you see, we saw Pepe go parabolic. So I think when you see something like that happen, you kind of want to gamble more, and you don't want to end up gambling all your winnings. So I mean, it is tough. So um,
Well, my thing is this: at the end of the day, if you got into Pepe, you still have time to get into Pepe.
oh yeah,
If you're looking for a coin to get into that you know is going to, and when I say no, it's like all this shit could go to bullshit tomorrow. But if what looks the most stable right now is Pepe. Even with the turbo coin, the dude is getting in trouble because he created a clown coin, something called clown, and now he took the money from turbo, created another one called clown, and it's
What?
like they get greedy, bro. Like they get greedy. They get greedy. You ain't got to pop that up, brother. I'm leaving it there. I ain't going crazy for it.
yeah. You know, the tough thing is the people that bought the top, the people that bought early like we did. I
Yeah,
mean, I guess we can say we're in a semi comfortable position with what
yeah,
we're at right now, but
yeah.
it is tough when you see bored apes that sold their apes to buy Pepe at the top,
Yeah.
and those are the guys that got wrecked. But I mean, I guess that's just the way crypto is, right?
Yeah.
Man, I seen an interesting thing too. Speaking of bored apes, and then we'll go ahead and jump off into the show. They were saying how bored apes could actually be the next, like big thing, big corporation, like coming down the line, simply because, I think they just got bought by Microsoft for like 69 billion, and
Dang.
it's all kind of
69 billion?
69 billion, and now they're jumping into the Web3 space and video games.
Oh my
Huh.
god.
Yeah, they're jumping into Web3 games and all that shit. Jizzy, congratulations. 9 graded games. Come on now. That's
Yeah,
great.
man. Wade was going crazy on the graded game stuff.
Yeah.
Vinny, how was your 3 weeks off of
It was good. It was good,
podcast?
man. Yeah, I just had like work and my anniversary all just kind of they all hit on the Thursday. I had 2 weeks of work. Well, not really one. The first week was me hanging out with Marcus at the TISA show in Atlanta, which is actually work for me, and us. So that I went to that, and then the next week I was in Nashville for a conference, and then the next Thursday I was like, oh, okay, I can come back after 2 weeks, and I was like, oh shit, it's my anniversary. I cannot podcast on my anniversary. Although Ferd podcast is on his wedding day, so
Yeah.
Ferg, you're married now?
I'm civilly married. We're not married under the guise of God, but yes, we are civilly married. We got married on Sunday, so that was
Okay, what does that
good
mean?
time.
Walk me through that. You said we're not
Like we're
married.
legally married. Just,
legally
yeah.
certificate.
Y'all
Oh,
just
certificate.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
Oh, thanks everyone. Yeah.
y'all
No,
must- y'all-
everyone was really very congratulatory on Sunday. Well, I mean, Pickles were doing our podcast.
So you say you're not married under the guise of God, but you're legally married. I don't understand. So you didn't get married by a preacher. You got married at the courthouse. Is that what you're saying?
We got married with like a officiant who's like she like just took a course online to get to like marry people basically, but we weren't.
You can take a course online. Okay, let me do that. Do you,
Yeah.
motherfucker?
Yeah,
plan
basically.
on marrying her.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. You could.
That would be great.
Yeah. But the big like Catholic wedding is in the Philippines. We got 3 priests. Send us off. I don't know why, but we have 3. But
dude, I had I'm Hindu, and so I had my wedding. What, I don't know how long the ceremony. I think started at like 6 in the morning and didn't end till like 11 or something.
Wow.
Yeah,
7 p.m.
a.m. But I mean,
I was gonna say. was
But
like,
it
God.
was long. It was a long like ceremony. The ceremonies are long.
Yeah,
no joke.
the ceremony in the Philippines is gonna be like 2 hours, like prayers, and there's a lot of people and stuff. But man, she's Mexican, and it was all very similar traditions and whatnot. We ate tacos, churros, tequila, had a
What's
mariachi
the
band.
second one? You
It
ate
was
Toodles.
churros.
Fuck
I
is that?
say that wrong?
Yeah,
Correct?
you said it
Hell is a
right. You said
Toodle?
it right.
Yeah.
A churro.
Churro.
It's
A
like
what?
you know, you go to Disneyland and get those little like cinnamon sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, a churro. Oh, a churro.
Yeah, a churro.
Oh, you talking about a churro? Oh, okay.
A churro.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to pronounce
Why
things
did you
correctly.
say that? Why
You
did you say that?
Yeah. A churro. A churro.
I don't know, man. Okay, I don't want to get I don't want to get bitch slapped. Okay,
Like,
I'm
bro,
not trying to get bitch slapped.
karate. Talking about you ate tacos and churro. That's some form of karate.
Like Jared Killickneck.
Yeah, him.
Oh man.
What's his first name? Jared Kill somebody?
I like Killickneck better. Oh, but more importantly, it was my birthday the next day. And yes, I got the Switch.
And your dumb ass opened it. Boy,
And you opened it after all that.
I can't flip this thing, man.
Boy, I would have flipped that shit. It said it's lost. I don't know where it's at.
It's not flipping though, right? It's not going for.
It's not
it
flipping
did.
anyway.
No, it's not.
It's not doing anything. Otherwise, I definitely would have flipped it.
I still got mine in my trunk. might need to go get returned.
Your lying ass said you had took it back. You told me you had took it back.
No. That's how I was thinking about it.
There was none at this one, but there will be in the Philippines. So anyway.
Any yummy pig head? What? Any yummy pig head roast in the ground?
That's like Hawaiian. We don't do that. We do on the spit.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. But
so wait a minute, y'all cook the whole pig and eat the whole pig.
Filipinos do. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll definitely do that in the Philippines for sure. So, yeah.
Ooh,
love it.
That. You eat pig head?
Eat the pig head and the brains and everything, man.
Dingaling, all of it.
You know, I don't know if we have. I don't know what that means.
I'm waiting to see what the answer was finna be. Yeah, come on, let's get into it.
I honestly don't know, but you know what I do know is Vinny's video games are coming up here.
Wait, before we do that.
Oh, sorry. Go for it.
Before we do that.
Go for it.
While I was in LA, eat that swine, Brad. While I was in LA, I went record store shopping. I'm gonna go get it. You know, I'm gonna take a break and go get it at some point in time. I found a sealed Pinocchio VHS.
Oh, interesting.
Sealed Pinocchio VHS. I found a sealed Beastie Boys CD.
Nice.
I can't remember which one it was. It was the first print CD shit, but just Beastie Boys, right? I found a sealed Kenny Rogers, The Gambler country cassette tape.
Are you sure it wasn't a reissue?
It wasn't a reissue because I asked the dude, and it's like he showed me some sort of 00 something to let you know.
Discogs. Yeah, okay.
And the hype sticker and all that.
All right, I just want to make sure you knew what you're talking about.
Yeah, bro, come on, man. I'm educated. What you talking about?
Okay. Oh, here we go. Just kidding.
Yeah. So anyway, I also got some 8 tracks sealed. Roots. I found Curtis Mayfield 8-track.
Damn.
Sealed.
That's something I've never seen out and about.
Yeah, I got him. Got him.
That's cool.
$10, $5. That's it.
That's wild.
Carry on. Let's get the show started.
All right, Vinny.
Let y'all know that Pinocchio video, if it come out right, it's worth $10,000.
I like it. Yeah. So, been on a little hiatus. So we're just coming back with a heavy hitter. Grand Theft Auto. I think at one point people were chasing Grand Theft Auto and they were saying, "Oh, I need the first print of it," right? And so I was like, really wanted to do a deep dive on it. And the first print is, normally most people would think the US PlayStation release, I think, but I just wanted to kind of go through some of the variants throughout time on this game. And so go back one for The other thing is that this franchise is like massive. Obviously, a lot of you have played it. $8.33 billion in sales since the inception of the first game. So this was actually the first game for the PC. It was released in the UK on October 21st, 1997 by BMG Interactive Entertainment. So it was actually so it was actually released on the PC first and in the UK. Not pictured here is that same first picture, but with a PC Power sticker on it. That was like the next release, the next PC release. Then this picture right here was a limited edition version that also had the Power sticker. And then there were like several other PC versions in the UK that had various stickers, like a top 100 sticker and a few other different versions of it out there. But they were all released by BMG Interactive. And okay, so then the PC version was published again by Take-Two Interactive. So it's the same version. It's basically the same box as the first one that you just saw, except instead of saying BMG in the right-hand corner, it says it has a Take-Two logo. And Take-Two then published versions of this game all over Europe, France, Germany, Italy, and then also in Australia.
Vinny, was this the Grand Theft Auto version where you're like looking down and the cars are going through the garages?
Yeah, this was the old school. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
The first one.
I love that.
Okay.
Game.
So then now it was ported to all those same European countries in late 1997. So this is the first UK print for the PlayStation PS1 that was released in December of 1997. So this is the chronology of it. These are how many versions are coming prior to the US release of it. The next one was BMG Limited Edition that was also released around the same time as that last picture for the PlayStation 1. This was probably like some sort of like limited edition that dropped like the same day as the first version in the UK. Then, okay, so can you go back 2 slides real quick, Ferd?
2?
Yeah. Okay, so this one, as you can see here on the front cover, it says BMG, right? BMG right next to the parental advisory. And if you go back to that slide you were just at, it has this Take-Two logo next to the parental advisory sticker. Mm-hmm. And then the next release has this Take-Two logo on it. So that's kind of the chronology of it. If anybody's actually trying to collect Grand Theft Auto or trying to find the early versions of it, that's kind of how it goes. And let's see, we can keep going. So this was the European, this was like all the European versions kind of look the same. This was the French one. This released around the same time as the UK release, the first UK release. Okay, then after that, BMG actually was acquired by Take-Two Interactive, and around that time is when we saw the first PC version in the United States, and this was released February 28th, 1998. This was actually, so when I first started looking for the first Grand Theft Auto, I bought like just not a sealed version, but I bought one of these thinking, oh, I got like the first Grand Theft Auto. But as you can see, there were so many releases before this. And plus, this was actually pretty late in the grand scheme of things. This came out, several months after the first release.
That's the one I used to have.
Used to have this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had like some other company, ASC or something like that, that was actually, publishing it for them. So,
right.
Then let's see. This was I guess what people video game collectors usually consider this the first release, although this is like the 9th release or 10th release or something. This was the Take-Two Interactive PlayStation 1 version that came out on June 30th, 1998. This was the version that we all probably had if we had a PlayStation. The thing is, though, that a lot of people don't know that there was a misprint on this game when it first came out. So if you go to the next slide, you see it's kind of small, kind of hard to see, but all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, it has teen written there in the box. So it was actually an error. So that first run of US PlayStation games were the teen version. So when I first got into video game collecting, people were telling me to go after the teen version because they were saying, well, that's the first release ever of Grand Theft Auto. But, you know, like I said, this is like a 10th release, but that's kind of the first release in North America, in the United States. If we go to the next slide, there's a mature on that version. So that's the regular version. The front cover looks exactly the same. Still has Take-Two Interactive, etc. No other real difference. Then there was a greatest hits version. If you notice, there's a Rockstar logo in the bottom right-hand corner of this. In December 1998, Take-Two developed like a high-end version of their publishing company, and they called it Rockstar. So at that point, Rockstar took over, and they started having that logo on the releases. So this is probably one of the first times you'd see it in the United States. In the UK, you also would see the Rockstar logo on one of the greatest hits versions as well. And then finally, there's a collector's version that came after that, and this was like on the PS1, you know, the later re-release of the PlayStation, that first PlayStation. So that's kind of the backstory of Grand Theft Auto. And if you guys are looking to collect it, it's there's a lot to look for there. But I'd say the main thing to look for is, you know, you want to make note of Take-Two Interactive, BMG being first, Take-Two Interactive, and then after that, Rockstar. So that would be kind of the easiest way to look at it. But then throughout that, there's also different logo variants for all the various editions of the game.
Hey, Vinny, is one logo more sought out than the other? Like, is the original logo the one to go to, or the one to get, or?
I think if you're looking for the PC one, you would want to look for that BMG, you know, just being the first. But honestly, these games, I think in sealed condition, are so rare that probably any of these versions would be pretty cool to have sealed. Yeah, except for the greatest hits or the Rockstar ones, I probably wouldn't be really big on. But if you can get, like, you know, the US version, Take-Two teen or mature, I think a Take-Two went, what was it, like a year ago for like 40 grand, something like that, the Take-Two teen version. So, but if you're looking for some sleepers and you can find the PC versions, those early PC versions from the UK, or even those early PS1 versions from the UK, I think you're really going to be in the money as, and this, you know, I keep saying this, but as the video game market adjusts and goes further into nostalgia. I mean, right now, I still watch the heritage auctions every week, and I see some people are saying it's crashing, some people are saying it's correcting, but those prices that we were seeing back in 2020 and 2021, they weren't sustainable. But I think people are starting to understand that, okay, these games are not, you know, they shouldn't be valued that high, and hey, maybe there's some other things out there that are, you know, more historically relevant. So I think that's where it's going.
Cool. That was definitely a game I played on my PC in the late 90s for hours on end. And I remember like having like evade the cops, and then you went to like a chop shop and then come out like you're good to go.
Yep. Yeah, that was a cool game. Did anybody else play like the original version, or
No, I did.
I played Vice City. That's the one that I remember.
Yeah, I think that's where I came in, was on Vice City.
Yeah.
I didn't jump on the original. I wasn't there. But when I went in for Vice City, I went and got the collector's edition that came with the license plate and and the safe deposit box, and you know, and all that shit. Like I dove in. I didn't just fuck around. So yeah.
I think I played San Andreas. San Andreas is a part of that too, right? I'm not. I'm not.
I think that was after Vice City, right? That was wasn't that after Vice City? I could be wrong. I think it
might have been San Andreas with the safe deposit box and the license plate. I don't know. Whichever one it was, I got the collector's edition. I spent all that money, and now I hate that I opened it. I should have kept it closed.
Close everything. Just don't open anything.
Never open anything.
Just don't open shit.
Shit.
What you should open is this link that Marcus is going to talk about.
Okay,
Or I
well,
should open it, I guess.
okay. Yeah, let's all talk about that. So, we've been, talking to, you guys about EA, well, sorry, the dot swoosh, right? Floam had been telling everybody, in the Discord, like if you get a chance, get your dot swoosh account, because they was going to kind of treat it like the ENS, right? Am I right, Floam, on that? Like
Yeah.
the
Yep.
thought process was that they were going to do it like a dot ENS. So like at some point a while ago, if you had a Charizard.ens, like some of that
Yeah.
shit just went for like stupid money. So the whole idea was that dot swoosh was going to be a thing, right? Seems like it's going to actually turn out to do that with the announcement of EA Sports joining forces to revolutionize the virtual sports experience for fans worldwide. Announced today, the partnership brings together two industry giants aiming to introduce innovative ways for Nike's digital community members, Dot Swoosh, and EA Sports enthusiasts to share their unique style through gameplay. The collaboration between Nike and EA Sports will introduce an immersive experience and unlock unprecedented levels of customization within the EA Sports ecosystem. Future EA Sports titles will incorporate select virtual creations from Nike's Dot Swoosh. Now, I want to touch that. I want to touch on that for this reason only. If you have a Dot Swoosh and you had a chance to get the OF1, which is their Air Force Ones but virtual, you could have got four of those when it went. I mean, I got the poster, so I was able to get one ahead of time. I was airdropped the poster. I was one of the few that was airdropped the poster, or however many got a poster. Then it went to public sale, and they kind of pushed it back because the mass hysteria of it. I still don't even know if it even actually eventually ever sold out. But you will have these. Go ahead,
They
Timmy.
closed it. They closed it last night. Last night
Yeah,
at like 2 a.m.
yeah, they closed it. So
And Fred, I got a dot swoosh like last night at like midnight.
Oh, okay, cool.
so
We'll figure it out later.
Yeah,
you was able to go in and get some more.
I was able to get. Yeah, I was able to buy. Yeah, last night, like right
Okay.
before the deadline. I got the dot swoosh, and I was like, oh shit. And then I was like, that's cool. And then I got this like, I was reading in the email, and then it was like, oh yeah, you have like a chance to claim your OF boxes like in the next few hours. And I was like, what? I was like, so
hmm And so with those OF boxes, which is like it's just going to be digital Air Force Ones, there will be some that you will be able to burn for the physical copy of the shoe, and those shoes will be one of ones. So, I mean, this is a early play with Nike and the dot swoosh. So shout out to Floam for being ahead of the curve with that and kind of getting everybody up on it. Hopefully, you got a chance to get a dot swoosh. Hopefully, you got a chance to get the OF1. I cannot tell you enough that the shit that we're telling y'all, it may not make sense right now. Give it a year and you're seeing this shit everywhere, don't say that we didn't say shit to you. With them announcing EA Sports, that changes everything. Look for these shoes. Look for your shoe to be on a player in Madden or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm
And
saying? Look, you be able to upgrade your player with, your dot swoosh shit. You know what I'm
Marcus,
saying? It'll turn into a thing. Yes, sir.
here's another thing too that people are kind of weary about. How much was it to get one of those Air Force One boxes?
$20.
$20.
Matter of fact, it was like 1982 or something. Like, it was some,
Yeah,
with
super cheap.
it's
the
nice.
year or whatever.
Oh, the year it was made, right?
Yeah, the year they were made, 1982, and
Let me
you
see
can
if I can
only
find
buy a
mine.
limit of 4. So,
I think this
kudos
is
to
the
all that
link.
got it. Hopefully, you got it. If you didn't, shitty titty. It's your fault. Let me
There,
tell you, we
I just
told
put the
you.
link up there if you guys want to just sign up for just to get access to it because there is a waiting list. Just FYI.
I think
There you
it's still worth it to sign up because you
Mhm.
basically can claim a dot swoosh. It's like almost like claiming a domain, but it's free.
Mhm.
So there's
Yeah.
actually nothing. There's no reason not to do it. So you might as well just go ahead and get one. And I think that Nike's going to start doing a lot more stuff with it. So getting in early on the dot swoosh could be a good play.
Right. Speaking of getting in early, Snapchat and Amazon are going to embrace augmented reality for shopping experiences. So, Snap and Amazon Fashion continue to work towards utilizing augmented reality for various immersive shopping experiences. Basically, in a nutshell, you kind of go through it on your own time. If you have Snapchat, you'll be able to go on Amazon, pick the clothes that you want, and then take a picture of yourself and then try to clothes on virtually. You can see what it looks like on you if you want to buy it or don't want to buy it, whatever the case may be. That's all this really is finna break down to. Again, another step moving forward of Skynet being online for you bitches. It's coming. You might as well get prepared. But with this, it just takes another
Oops.
step with Amazon moving forward into the Web3 space. And it's only a matter of time before because they haven't announced it yet, I don't think, but I think they're getting ready to announce their Amazon Marketplace, where then the floodgates will open, and yeah. So now's the time. If I could tell you anything, just on my personal opinion, NFTs are cheap. They look like next to nothing right now compared to what they were 6 months ago. If you have any extra money, instead of going to go buy that comic book, go buy a doodle. If you got any money, go buy. I mean, you would spend that kind of money on a rare comic book. Go buy a doodle. Go buy. I can't tell you buy Clone X because those are expensive. But find the ones that
Onyx
are
is about the same price as Doodle.
right now.
Almost.
What about
Yeah,
4,000?
almost.
About 4,000?
About
So
five or
about
5.5.
5,000. That's
Yeah.
So 5,000 is a rare book for that it's a silver age first appearance somewhere. 5,000, and it's going to make money. Now's the time, especially with the yeah, I saw that, Wilbur. Apple's getting ready to announce their VR headset. Yep. So I saw that as well. But even more so than that, if you have a Clone X right now, you're able to get those shoes that everybody's been wearing. All the basketball players, right, Vinny? Like I think
Yeah.
I saw Khaled in the shoes. Like
Hmm.
these shoes are like starting to go for like stupid money. So if you have a Clone X right now, your money is making money for you, because you could literally sell them shoes for double, triple what they're worth just from everybody's doing. Because the only way you can get these shoes is if you have a Clone X. That is the absolute only way you can get these shoes. And I'm starting to see them on basketball players. Like I said, I'm starting to see them. I think LeBron had them on. I know Khaled had them on. I know I saw Steph Curry with a D Gods hoodie. Like it's just really starting to infiltrate. So I'm just here to tell y'all, get your shit together.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you think, Ralph, but yeah, like I mean, Doodles were at like 10, 15 ETH like a few months ago. They're now down to like 2. So I'm thinking about it. I mean, this is something I've talked about before, but now it's getting pretty low where I think it might be a good play. And even some of the other big ones. I mean, we're talking about just the big, kind of like the mid-tier ones right now that are
Yeah.
still pretty expensive, but there's a lot of other ones that are sort of lower tier but still have a lot of potential that are, I think, worth getting into.
Yeah, I haven't actually bought an NFT in, I want to say, a couple months, but this past weekend I did buy a couple of. Are you guys familiar with Claire Silver? She's she has a punk with the pink hair, a
Yeah.
crypto punk. She's like an AI artist. So with the Nvidia stuff going crazy, I kind of just figured I'd pick up some of her AI art just as hold on to it, see what happens in a couple months or a couple years. I think it was about 0.15 ETH to mint.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of stuff going on with it, like music. You can use it in potential video games and stuff like that. But Claire Silver and AI were like the main selling points.
Yeah, even the same thing with the old Pepe edition. Those started
Yeah,
out at
those
like
are starting to go
$8,
crazy.
and now they're like $1,000
Yeah.
a frog. It's ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, man, have y'all seen this? It was if you're in Web3, it's a young lady who faked a cancer charity to do an NFT, and she raised over 117,000 and rugged everybody.
Yeah, that is nuts.
She ran it up. She ran up the bag, and then cut off the Twitter, cut off the Discord, ran off with the money. She wasn't doxxed. It was just she did a whole thing. Like I mean, let me just get into it just so for sake of argument, right? So, it was welcome news when Andrew Wang, which is a popular guy, tweeted to his audience of 200,000. I woke up today to see one of my friends trending on Twitter. She made a collection to help herself battle cancer, and some awesome Web3 people spotlighted her today. So I like to add to it. Wang was referencing a Chinese pixel artist named Sarah, known as Hope Exists. On Web3, her work has been collected by some of the biggest names, including Drift. She had been battling lacrimal gland, I want to hope I'm saying it right, lacrimal gland cancer, an illness that affects the eyes to help raise funds to cover her medical bills, right? Within a few hours, $117,000 along with Sarah's Twitter profile disappeared, with the funds moving out of the project's contract into a new blockchain address. It was a rug pull scam and one of the longest cons in Web3 history. So I guess she really doesn't have cancer. It was all a scam, and people poured into it to try to support her. And they made off with she made off with like 117K.
And I think the art was stolen too.
Yeah, the art was stolen.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, it was stolen art.
So my point with that is this: you gotta. She was cured. I bet she was. Yeah. The point is this, man. Research, research, research. If you're going to get into an NFT, if you're going to find one, if you're going to get into one that any NFT, find out if the people are doxxed. Find out if the people, are really in it for the culture, or they're in it to make a real quick bag. Do the research, do the research, do the research, and then jump in and buy an NFT. Jump if you're gonna buy an NFT, buy ones that's been tried and true, that's been hanging on right now, that's been here for the long haul. So that's just food for thought. But I had to put that out there because I'm gonna tell you the good and the bad, right?
That's great.
Give
No,
y'all shit.
that's really good stuff. I like how you ended it with or I guess I ended it with the bad stuff, but yeah, just kind of be wary and like ask people questions about NFTs. I don't know how many times I've reached out to Marcus and Ralph about just, hey, I got this free like offer to blah blah blah, and they were like, no, do not erase it, get out of your wallet, blah blah blah. And had those resources not been there, I probably would have like been more curious about it. But thank you, Vinny and Marcus. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. That was
welcome back, fellas.
2 great segments
missed you.
in a row.
Thank you. Did you really? I missed you too.
I missed you, man.
I missed you too. 78.
I miss Vinny. I miss Vinny's presentations.
Yeah. Well. All right, then. We out here.
Followed by, we're gonna follow that up with 78 points. Yeah, a couple sides.
Oh, it's just 2 things that popped up on what I was looking at this week. Unfortunately, this one just is sold out now, but it dropped yesterday.
Oh,
Big Bad Toddy Mac came out with a 3,000 limited edition Spawn figure, and he did his promo as usual. He did a video on Instagram. It went up. And the interesting thing, it sat there for a few minutes. I thought it was going to be an instant sellout, but it sat there for a minute. Yeah, not the most original. It's a repaint. It's kind of like a traditional exclusive or iconic variant where they just do a different color. So I'm not too mad, and cats aren't too mad by it because it's not a unique figure. Yeah. From my understanding, this character has not appeared in a comic yet, so it's a first as a toy, which is interesting as well. Yeah, and it looks like it's all black, but it's actually got gray highlights, or like his boots gray, his gauntlets gray, his straps are gray, and it's got that neon green. And it comes in a slipcase box, so you can take it out and put it back, and it still looks mint in box, which is interesting.
Is that not just Spawn?
Yeah, it's a something Spawn. He's got multiple different versions of Spawn.
Oh, okay.
All right, so it hasn't been given a name.
Okay,
but I would expect he's going to throw it into a book soon. That's what.
Got it.
Yeah.
Tentacle Spawn.
So. Neon. Someone was saying it's the monster drink Spawn.
It does look like freaking monster drink, yeah.
The other thing, off topic, but because Ralph's here as a skater as well. The 9 Club had the Heroin skateboard founder on Foss, and I just went to peep their site. Heroin Skateboards is a super independent brand, so to speak, and left of field. They do really random shapes. You can see these egg shapes here from these eBay listings.
Yeah.
He does extra wide boards, old school and creative board sizes. They really blew up during the pandemic as skaters started messing with other shape boards and stuff. And the market nowadays is very different to what it used to be. Like everyone used to always try and make the same kind of boards. Now there's like the full gamut of single kick boards, random shapes, artistic shapes, and then your popsicles. I just wanted to highlight this one because it's an old school Hulk Annual 2 homage.
That's cool.
Right? And yeah, it's a different colorway. It's got the pink on there. And there's that listing there, a sold listing, not a listing to sell, but a sold one for $350, and for the white one.
Did you say the 9 Club released these?
No, the 9 Club had the guy on. The
Oh,
founder
okay,
on,
okay.
Boss, the guy, and so he was talking about it. So I was like, okay, let's see if he put something up to coincide with that.
Good
Maybe.
podcast if you
yeah,
guys
one
have
of the
time
best
to
out there.
check that out.
Yeah. So it's just interesting. Like, I dabble in skateboards and decks, mainly just buying like old decks that I used to ride. I used to buy a lot of the old Evan Hancock stuff from Chocolate. And it's, like everything, man, like every collectible, it just started getting really expensive.
Yeah.
I was trying to complete like series and stuff. I got some on the wall in the back here. But yeah, it got pretty
You got the
pricey.
mounts. You got the mounts for them to put them up and stuff. Those like the mounts to put like just the deck up.
To be frank, all I do is stick a nail or a screw in the wall and a piece of
Oh.
fishing wire.
Nice.
No, I don't. I know those mounts. I have them in my parents' house, in another city. I had those mounts.
Nice.
I put them up, yeah, but I'm not there. So yeah,
Oh.
yeah. It was just interesting. Like, okay, $350 for a deck, and it's a new board. $330 for these things. Most boards when you buy them new are like $70 to $80.
Yeah.
Shipped, right? Or $50 if you're lucky. Yeah, so yeah, still a interesting brand to keep track of.
Nice. That's cool.
That's really cool. I like the art on skateboards. I don't know how to skateboard.
Oh yeah, the art style that he does is, it's this messy, ugly, beautiful kind of stuff. It is how do you say? It's not for everybody. And the brand name itself, he does that as a tongue-in-cheek thing to piss people off.
Do people actually like try to ride these boards, or?
Oh, they ride them, man.
Yeah,
they love it. They love it, especially the older dudes who, we don't have the knees we used to, so
those are just
we're
for
not
cruising,
looking to
right?
pop and try too many flip tricks. We're kind of cruising around more.
Yeah.
So these older, wider boards are more suitable for that. Yeah. That big egg-shaped board reminds me of what was that? There was a dude way back in the day. He did a lot of fun shaped boards. He was on Sonic skateboards, a bit of a comedian, and he threw some trucks onto a skimboard, and he did a whole in his video part. He had a little section on a skimboard.
I know a guy used to ride those old school decks when he I forget the name of the video, but he was like 13. He was still a kid.
Oh,
Guy
Video
Mariana.
Days.
Yeah, Video Days. There you go.
Oh yeah, when Video Days hit, that was like 90. It was 1990 or 91. It dropped Video Days. Yeah, that was the transition moment, like in skateboarding, from having a nose that was more just so your foot doesn't fly off to actually having a second kick. People were really experimenting with boards then. Yeah, Guy in that, I mean, he has I think a couple lines in there where he's on that previous style board where it's not a full nose.
Yep.
And it was Jason Lee that really, in that video kind of blew
Gons is in that
apart.
video too, right?
Gons is in that part, man.
Yeah.
And he's freestyling to jazz.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it's maybe it used to be my favorite video. Yeah. I watched the shit out of that till that tape snapped. God, man. Yeah, but Jason Lee in that video. Oh, fuck. Tray flips.
Buttery.
Oh, so good, man.
Yeah.
Pop and catch. And those boards were heavy back then, man.
This is going to turn into the 9 Club.
Oh, man. So good. So good. So good. And he can still pop them. I don't know how he does it, man.
Jason Lee?
Still do a tray. Yeah, Jason Lee can still do a tray. He's like 50.
You know who I thought had the best tray? Antoine Dixon.
Oh, his lazy style, man.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. Baker 3.
Yep. Baker.
That line
Yeah.
through the ramp and the school and all that. Oh shit. And that switch
We
heel
just
of
take
his.
over
That
this
switch
turned
heel,
into
he just
skateboard.
fucking falls asleep in the middle of the air.
No,
Shit.
it was just so easy. Him and obviously P-Rod's switch tray is super buttery, but Antoine Dixon was it's like natural for him.
Yeah, P Rod was like, for me, he was that birth of the robot kids, these kids who's
Yeah.
fucking like Tony Hawk Pro Skater come to life.
Yeah.
Like they were amazing, right? Like, okay, no, he's an incredible skater, but there was something about that influx of these little kids that could do every single trick, and you're just like, you guys are like, yeah, doing combos on your controller, What about the style?
Yeah, I think with him, he was the first to kind of do the flip in, flip out shit, and just the crazy enders too. So
Yeah, he was. Yeah, P Rod was like the guy who could do everything.
yeah,
You know, most people you can't. There's like, oh, I don't like doing backside. I don't like doing front side. I don't. There was that. Oh, I can't. I can do the switch flip, but the switch hill I can't. Like, and
Yeah.
just everything. Yeah, it was nuts.
Yeah.
My guy's Gino. My guy's still
Oh,
Gino.
hey
I'm
Gino.
old.
No, I mean, his part in yeah, right. His part in Yeah,
Yeah,
Right is
yeah.
classic.
Classic. Yeah. And Stevie Williams was one of the guys that also like broke the mold when he came out in Chocolate
Yeah.
Tour and Trans World. Like he had an ad in a 411 for chocolate. It was just this one line.
Just to bring it full circle, Stevie Williams he's gonna release an NFT collection, which is pretty
There we
crazy.
go.
Is it?
Of
Yeah,
course he is.
yeah,
Of
it's called
course he is,
Scapes.
man.
It's called Scapes. Skapes. Scapes.
Okay. And what is it? Like
It's
just
kind
art?
of like a anime.
Skating.
It looks like Azuki. Yeah, well, they're obviously skaters, but it's in the mold of Azuki art, which is kind of that manga anime stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm looking at it now. There's a party. Already happened.
Yeah.
Penthouse party, 22nd of March. My bad.
Good stuff. Trey's going to be here in a little bit, but before we get on to the next segment, just want to ask everyone if you could subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Let your homies know. We do this show for the love of the hobbies that we talk about, and we appreciate everyone's support as well. But yeah, let's get into the next segment here. Give me 1 second.
That shit is unnecessarily good.
Yeah.
It's like it does all that and it just comes back to us.
Yeah.
Such as like everyone expects something new.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all gonna look really good. It's gonna be like a studio quality presentation now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to follow that intro with sneakers. 78. I don't have any Kith this week for you.
Oh, man.
But
Marcus will get some for me.
but I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with shoe news lately, but Jerry Lorenzo, his Fear of God line is gonna come out pretty soon with their Adidas basketball line. Some of this stuff does look like his Nike Fear of God shoes that he put out, but so it's not for me. I personally wouldn't wear this, but when I was looking at these shoes, I also got to thinking what is the last NBA sneaker that was kind of a lifestyle shoe other than a Jordan? And the only thing I can really remember were the Iverson questions. I don't know if you guys remember
Oh,
those.
that far back?
Yeah, but nothing recently, right? Can you guys think of anything that is a basketball shoe, but was also, I guess, a lifestyle shoe that people wore off the court?
This is a huge reach, but I'm thinking those old school Penny Hardaways, those
Okay.
blue and white ones.
Yep.
That's all I can think of, though.
But
You said
recently,
recent,
like,
Bird. You said
yeah,
recent. No.
let's just say within the past 5 years.
Oh, you said Iverson question, so I was thinking. Like,
Yeah,
I know.
that-
That's why I was like, Ralph's like, yo, that's like 20 years ago, man. Like,
that's
really?
the
There
only thing I
hasn't
could.
been?
Yeah, that's the only thing I could really think
What
of.
about some Kobe's? Kobe's, no? The lows?
I mean,
No?
I don't really see people wearing Kobe's like that. Not like Jordans or not like the Pennies or Iversons. But okay, so with this shoe, okay, I don't know basketball performance wise, but off the
That
court,
was maybe
I
my
can
question on this.
I can definitely see people wearing these. Like I said, it's not something that I would wear, but this new generation of
Oh, yeah.
sneakerheads, I can
Oh, yeah.
definitely see them wearing this.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, my
Are you
question would be the performance on this shoe. Like,
exactly?
that
Yeah,
sole looks like it doesn't move.
and
You talking about the one all the way on the right?
yeah, the soles are
Yeah.
pretty thick on actually all the shoes there.
These look like they were made for like people with plantar fasciitis or something.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, everything that Jerry Lorenzo does is kind of extra with his clothes.
Yeah.
If Bird, if you can pull up Nike, actually, let me look for it.
Yeah, you sent me those.
I mean, your comment, Ralph, about like, oh, it looks like his Nikes, but to be fair, like his design,
Yeah, it is his
Fear of
style,
God,
right?
all looks kind of like this sea of grayness
Yeah,
and like hushed tones.
but I mean, I think this, if we're talking about resell, obviously anything that Fear of God does, um, there is resell. I don't know what the price point is going to be on this. If I were to guess, it'd probably be around 220, 250, just because everything that Fear of God or everything that Jerry Lorenzo does is kind of high priced. But
Yeah.
I definitely do think they would flip. Obviously, they're not as high, but the silhouette is kind of the same. Like you said, 78. The colors are kind of, he's kind of using the same colors, the earth tones. Yeah.
Muted tones.
But yeah, I mean, pretty interesting shoe. And like I said, I can see people wearing it on the court and off the court.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't someone wear these on the court already? Like,
I want to say it was Nick Young.
Yeah, that's true. He would be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, these still go for a pretty good amount. What is that, like 500, 450 to 500 for those Nike Fear of God? So
yeah, with the ultra skinny black jeans.
Make sure they're ultra skinny.
What do we
look
got?
Good on them.
I don't have a picture for you, Fer, but let me send you something real quick. Do you guys remember the Travis Scott bandana SBs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're gonna re-release them. It's only been about 3 years since they released, but I did want to get your guys' opinion on. I wouldn't call it a classic, but it was a successful shoe. But bringing back shoes that quickly, that had an impact. I guess before the announcement of the restock, it was considered an SB classic. For 78, you may not agree, but I guess that was the thought, is that these were a classic shoe. People hadn't seen anything like this before, so let me send you this for.
Yeah, go for it, Ed.
But obviously, it's going to dilute the resale price. But do you guys think
it's going to kill the price, man?
Yeah. And it's kind of also in line with Nike wanting to get these shoes in everybody's hands. But, the idea of having these SBs was the exclusivity, right? The scarcity. You don't really see people, with these shoes. So, restocking them, it's not really in line with what sneakerheads appreciate, right?
Mm.
But would you guys wear these? I'm personally, I wouldn't. I'd resell them. But
I'm not wearing these, man.
But yeah, the restock is supposed to happen in September of this year. So if you're looking to cop personal or flip, these wouldn't be a bad choice.
Nice.
When I first saw these, they were They just look like, oh, he's just taken the Supreme bandana deck and just made the dunk.
And it kind of has that Burberry feel, right? Like a Burberry patch.
Yeah, it sort of does. Yeah.
And then finally, I want to get your opinion on these 78, these Action Bronsons 990.
I don't mind those, man.
Right?
I don't mind those, man.
The first colorway was a little bit extra, I thought. I mean, I like them, but it's not something I could really pull off. But this color is I like this color, and the lace
a bit
is
more
kind
conservative.
Yeah,
a bit
and
more like in the box, yeah.
And they have kind of these Timberland laces. I
Mm.
thought that was a nice touch, but nothing too crazy. Like I said, the last pair that released was pretty crazy, but this is something that I would definitely wear. And it's popular with the kids too, so.
And it's gonna be very comfortable.
Oh, absolutely.
So comfortable.
Old man shoes. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. And it's seeing, the way they released it instead of doing this first and the other one second, it makes sense they did that one, the first one like that, because it was a bit more not controversial, but because of that neon, that kind of green and the purple on that, they were really different and people talked about them. Like some people really loved them, some people hated them, right? These ones, if they did this first, it would be more, yeah, okay, it's a funky colorway, but it's all blue and earth tones. It
right.
kind of looked like, the other one looks like a weird ACG kind of thing gone wild. So, and this, in some ways, though, this is more, I would say, like the first pair I mentioned, that Real Mad Hectic store in Japan back in the day that used to do those kind of colors, and they used to do. It used to be a triple collab. It was Stussy, Real Mad Hectic, and New Balance. They'd do them like once a year or once every 6 months back in the day, in the 90s and early thousands. And it kind of homage that kind of look because they do wild colors. This one, though, is,
I like
more
it.
conservative, and I'd say it's more his thing.
Yeah, definitely a good shoe. And I don't have a picture up of it right now, but 78, you were at Atmos today. Were you there to pick up those Jown Solomons?
No.
For?
We were looking for sandals for my daughter.
Okay.
She blew out her sandals. So we had to buy some new sandals, and I was walking by Atmos, and I was like, hey, look. Trey been throwing me some shade because I was like talking about the Solomons out there, going, hey, man, these aren't bad. And there they are, display at the front of Atmos.
Yeah, I thought I saw them. I was like, wait, those came out today.
Yeah. The thing is, the market's not ready for them. No one picks them up. Like, I was watching people, and they're just all going to the Nikes and Adidas and things. No one's touching them. Yeah. The Asian market, or at least the Southeast Asian market, the mass market is behind.
They're not into the Solomons.
Yeah, they're still into, like, what was it, the panda shit? Panda dunks, man?
Yeah.
Everyone has those.
Oh, it's the same here. Everybody has pandas here. You can see grandmas wearing pandas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see 40 and 50-year-olds wearing pandas.
Yeah.
Yo. All right. Oh shit, I'm that old. Shit.
Oh shit. Cool. Thanks, Ralph.
Yep.
Nice.
Appreciate that. That was a good discussion back and forth. Anyway, so some big news came out this week. I think was it yesterday that the news came out that a motion picture Miles is in development, or was that today? I can't remember. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, it was yesterday. Was that before it started leaking? Yeah.
Was that confirmed though, or was that just a rumor?
That is confirmed.
It was confirmed.
And they better not shit the bed on this one, man.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think sell now, buy now, or just if you miss the boat, don't even try and get back in?
Hold it.
I mean, everything is pretty cheap, right?
Yeah, buy it if you
can. I didn't see the exact FOMO that I would have believed would have occurred.
Yeah,
I saw 9.8s go for like still the $1,800 to $1,900 range. Maybe I saw one at like $2K, but I actually sold a 9.6 yesterday for $750. I know those 9.6, 9.8 knobs are still out there, but I was happy with the sale. It just so happened that my eBay listing ended yesterday, but it wasn't. I didn't really feel any like correlation with the news coming out, but I know everyone's trying to get after the UF4 first print. I prefer the second print as like a collector. Like I bought a second print yesterday in 9.8 for $200, which I thought was a pretty good deal. But
That's a good deal.
But if I was going for like to flip or to like maybe versus the UF4 first print, I'd go after the all new Ultimate Spider-Man #1. It's tough and high grade, but I feel like it's kind of one of those things, right? It's second appearance. UF4 first print's like kind of out of range, but I still feel there's good value in that ongoing series. And I know, Ralph, you showed off your collection today. You have that comic book, correct?
Yeah.
And there is a newsstand of that if anybody's trying to chase it.
There's a newsstand. Okay, so I don't know. Trey, what do you think about the news yesterday?
Where are we at?
Miles live action.
Miles live action coming out.
Like I said, I think Miles is an interesting character. I haven't read that much about him, so it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how it does. A lot of people like him. I mean, I know people are excited about the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse?
Not yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
I
saw it the other day. The other day.
Trey's coming from the movie premiere, so how was it, Trey?
It was okay. Here's the thing about those movies like that is, I mean, the theater was packed, and to see like people standing up and cheering because fucking Spider Pig was on, it just. I'm being serious. I'm just being 100% honest.
Are you serious?
Oh
Spider-Ham.
Man, it was Spider Ham, and like it was just weird. Like I said, the stuff with Miles and Gwen and Spider-Man 299 Miguel was really, really good, I thought. They added some characters that just didn't make a lot of sense to me. But here's the thing about that movie, I don't think it's made for people my age. Is it cool that some people our age enjoy it? But the 15, 16-year-old kids, and I brought both of my bosses and both of their families, and they had kids ranging from 11 to 17, and they fucking loved it. So that's all that really truly matters, to be completely honest.
That's right.
And that is my point when it comes to Miles Morales, period.
Yep.
It's a young person's game. It's like not to say that Peter Parker, I grew up on Peter Parker. These kids know Miles and Gwen. And they don't know the Gwen that died. They know the Gwen that's out here swinging through the trees and shit. Like, like that's, it is what it is. So,
yeah.
I did not like what they did to Peter Parker in the movie, though. They almost made him a fucking joke.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, which Peter?
616. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird. It just almost like a slapstick sidekick, like a Jar Jar Binks type character is the fucking vibe I got from how they did Peter. So,
the reality is that Peter is not even really important in these movies. It's more so the relationship between Miles and Gwen. It's weird. I understand. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have did Peter like that, but I think you have to do Peter like that in order for them to kind of do what they're doing as far as like, Miles is concerned, where he's kind of like stretching out on his own story, trying to branch out away from, how do you get somebody away from that? Just like even with, Star Wars, and you look at Luke Skywalker and Rey, you know what I'm saying? You had to put Luke in there to do some bullshit for Rey to kind of really crank up and kind of be her own thing. Not to say that it was needed, but just kind of makes sense to kind of put them all in there and let them all do what they do.
I agree with that, yeah. And I agree with what Trey's saying, like, it's not the Peter that, we all know, and like, and that it's not his character. It makes sense, but I guess that confusion of the Spider-Verse and all that kind of blurs that for me, for the kids. So it leaves it open. You can still interpret the classic Peter. The one thing that I'll point out in this movie without spoiling it is they make a point to differentiate and make Miles unique from everyone else. And that, for me, was oh shit, here we go. Miles can be his own. Now Miles is different.
So is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Oh, it's a great thing. It's a real good, because that was always the problem. I mean, look at this book here on the cover. It says this, Spider-Man, and it was always the confusion. Who's Spider-Man? What is, how does this work?
Mhm.
And this movie made this, with the Spider-Verse and retelling and making actually the Spider-Verse, I guess, more less chaotic and more sensible. They
Yeah.
did it well, and they make Miles special, and that was for me the big thing of the movie. Like, oh, okay, this is how you can do everything with Miles now. This is how
Right.
he has this ability to go forward and be his own,
You
and
know
not be in the shadow.
what's interesting, and I was mentioning this in our group chat a couple days ago, but my son, my 5-year-old son, he's really into Spidey and his Amazing Friends on Disney Plus, and
Oh, word.
you see Miles in there. I mean, it's Miles, Gwen, I guess Ghost Spider, I guess, and Peter Parker. But Miles, because I guess he's with all these other Spider characters. He's called Spin in the show.
Yeah, he's
And
called Spin, right? Yeah.
I never heard that name for him before. I don't think they use that in any of the comics. So
No, they
No.
don't.
I thought that was kind of
That
interesting.
was a weird choice to do that. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
with that
Marcus
being
is
said,
100% right about the kids, though.
yeah, but with that being said, though, it's very similar, like to a Paw Patrol type of show, or
Yeah.
just like any of those other types of shows, and the kids love it. I mean, that's what they're growing up with, and there's not just that show. There's a few other shows like it, so it's interesting to see a lot of these new characters being introduced. Even Reptile, I saw Reptile in there.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
interesting
yeah?
to see some of
Okay.
these characters popping up in the show. You just wouldn't expect it. So
Right. And
So,
like I
yeah.
said, like I said a long time ago, we could sit here and debate about Miles and this, that, and the third, but I think, to Trey's point, I think we talked about this a while ago when we were talking about Green Lantern. Like, most people will say, Guy, some people grew up on John Stewart, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is, right? Like, like if you ask this last generation, their Green Lantern was John Stewart and he was black. They don't go that far back. I go back to the guy Green Lantern. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a generational thing at this point. It just becomes generational. Who you grew up with? Do you care to do the research to go that far back and find out whatever? Not to say that anybody's trying to take Peter Parker's place, but to your point, 78, it's Miles is getting his own. Miles is getting his own thing. He's stretching out, getting his own story.
Yeah. Just to bring it back to the comics, just be very careful with the Ultimate Fallout 4s. There is an F ton of those books graded already on the census,
Mhm.
and that 1 in 25, there's a lot out there that aren't on the market. So some of the prices that we've seen for that book in the last year and a half, to be frank, I think that was it. I'll be very, very worried about investing in that book. There's
Yeah.
just a lot out there that people, they were playing the I guess for me the game of sell it on the trailer. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of over. In the last 8 months, that's kind of like, yeah. So in terms of the question that Ferd asked, sell now. If you got maybe the 1 in 25 and you got it in a high grade, it might be a good idea to sell now, because there's not many on the market.
the 1 in
That would
25
be
was
too.
going for like 40 grand at one point. Like
Yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It was insane.
a
And it
9.8.
was consistently selling over 20.
Yeah.
It was
That's crazy.
consistently. And that, people were holding up, and, some of our related comic community, they were holding up 5 slab 9/8. Some people had 20. It's just like, yo. All
A
right.
lot of people had those too. It wasn't like just one specific person. It was a lot of people.
And there's
I mean,
stories of stores,
Yeah.
having boxes and then some guy buying the box. There's a lot out there.
Yeah, during the CBSI days, there was that whole the Great Five Below. Like that's where you could get all that shit was at Five Below.
Yeah.
If you, and now at Five Below, I think you can now get One Piece cards. Depending on what Five Below you go to, you can get One Piece cards.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I know I got some One Piece cards from Five Below in Katy.
Nice one.
Y'all
Nice
Houston
one.
people, don't be coming to Katy to get your One Piece cards. I shouldn't have said that shit. Don't come out here. This my stomping ground. Don't bring your ass over here. Get some One Piece cards. I'm gonna be right there looking at you.
Yo, this is my corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, One Piece is a good one, man.
Yeah. I ain't playing
That's
with y'all.
cool.
This is my corner.
I'll see you soon. Batman 113. Trey, you want to talk about this, correct?
Yeah, I just think it's I don't have too much to say about it, to be completely honest with you, but at the latest, the Batman mark just ended, the failsafe one that saw Bruce going back through different dimensions, et cetera, et cetera. They come to find out that the Batman persona, the Zur-En-R, which is basically the evil persona. It's not an evil persona when it was originally done, but it's basically a mental symbiote that Batman created when he's in bad situations.
Yeah.
And during this failsafe deal, it come to find out that Batman Zur-En basically became what's the right word? Sentient. Does that be the right word? Where he basically became his own person, and he was the one that basically built failsafe. And as Batman traveled through all those different dimensions, at the last page of the spread, it showed that there were multiple. I mean, quite a few Zur-En-Rs. And they showed that that's going to be like one of the Zdarsky's big bads going forward for Batman is that version of Zur-En, which was cool because it was basically an alien from another planet until Grant Morrison decided to do something different with the character in the early 2000s and create basically this mental failsafe that Batman created. So, basically to, not give up information when he's tortured and in bad places with pain or whatever. Yeah. That's the persona that takes over. So what I was just thinking of, his first appearance is Batman 113 from 1958. You can get decent copies for a very, very cheap price considering it's a 1958 book. And it's a weird thin line. He's kind of like a Mr. Miziptic type character where I don't know if they're going to necessarily turn him into a big bad of the DC universe. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to support, but you can pick up a mid-grade copy of Batman 113 from 1958, I guess for, $125 and pretty high grade. And I just think it's a decent investment.
That's a good one, man. Yeah, I didn't realize this was his first appearance.
Yeah.
Yep,
cool.
that's his first appearance. And Zdarsky's leaning really heavy into it because, if you haven't been reading Batman, that failsafe was that robot. It was created so Batman ever goes bad that was going to take Bruce Wayne out. And at the end of the deal, it came to find out that Zur-En was the one who created the failsafe. And every time that he went through one of those new multiverse situations in this arc, when he was going into the Dark Knight and the animated and all the different ones chasing the Red Hood, they left a different version of Zur-En in those dimensions that he was in, and it basically alluded at the back page that they're going to come together and fight crime their own way. And I've heard a couple murmurs that Zdarsky has even bigger plans for the character. So it's an interesting book. I could definitely see, down the road, depending on how the DC universe does with movies, that they could definitely do some sort of iteration of that because it's a pretty interesting concept. So,
yeah, it was. I enjoyed the Zdarsky. I've been enjoying it a lot, man. There's some dips. It's some dips. It got a bit silly, a bit too bombastic, but
Yeah.
I'm just over that. I'd be honest with you. I understand what they're doing, but I'm ready for this Catwoman shit. It feels like we've been dealing with this Catwoman shit from early in the Tom King run, and it's gone through like 3 or 4 different ones. I'm tired of seeing Catwoman. And apparently they're fixing to do that Gotham War where Red Hood basically, her and Bruce go to war against one another, and Jason Todd picks Catwoman. And apparently it's going to be pretty crazy run coming up in the Batman world.
Cool. Yeah, thanks, Trey. That's like Brad said, just dropping dimes over here in the chat. In the slides here. So I was talking with Vinny, was it last week, Vinny, or a couple weeks ago? And we were kind of going back and forth about grading the Wembanyama SI card or grading the magazine, and he convinced me to actually go ahead and just and cut it out and send it into Beckett. Mine's super off centered, but we were looking at PSA 6s and 7s in like the $450 to $700 range. Whereas I found a Wembanyama SIN 9.8, which I don't even know how long it'll take to get back. It went for like $400. So it's kind of like, do you kind of roll the dice and, you know, watch a couple of videos and cut out the card, say and get a PSA 6 or 7, or do you grade? Like we've kind of gone back and forth with in our show. But based off that, what do you guys think?
Hey, Ferd, do you go BGS because of the turnaround time?
I go BGS because of that 0.5s.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. My honest opinion.
I like that half grade.
Yeah, my honest opinion is that I would probably grade the magazine. I'm of the opinion if you take the 181 approach, if it has the coupon in it, then you know it sells, you know, for more compared to if the coupon is cut out. I think half the fun of cutting out the Wembanyama is people being able to do it themselves. So you get a high grade, you know, book in and of itself. You know, the cutout is in there, and then they can, you know, cut it out and do their own thing, and you know, pay big money for it as it is. I mean, I get it though if you know want to roll the dice and try to cut it out yourself and get it graded, but that's such a dice roll that I'm not willing to play that game, knowing that people are making all kinds of real money on the shit. Buy the book from me. Buy the high grade book from me.
So I rolled the dice and I tore it. The sides are pretty easy to do. It's the bottom that is like there's no serrated edges on the bottom at all. So I actually did a video of it on my channel, and it took me a while to get that off. And I don't know if I'm going to get a PSA 6 or 7 or BGS 6.5, 6, 7.0. But I will send it in and let you guys know when I get it back, and maybe we can do a review on the show. But yeah, I rolled the dice and I said screw it. I'll just see what grade I get, and hopefully I'll make my money back, which I'm sure I will because I bought it for cover price. And then just a couple market reports for some magazines here that were graded. Nintendo Power #1.
Ferd, before you jump over there, no, I was gonna say really quickly on the Victor Wembanyama thing. A couple things. I think, you know, if you can get a 6, 7, 8, or 9, 9 is stretch, but if you can get those, I think you're going to do better than doing the magazine by itself or getting the magazine graded. I don't think the market's there, and I'm not sure if it ever will be, just because people have kind of been grading these things for so long. I feel like the market might have already dictated what happens with these. I don't think people are necessarily going to go for the magazine with the cards intact. Maybe, like we were talking about, maybe keep 1 or 2 like that, and then you can get it slabbed just like a really nice copy of the magazine itself, just an off-centered card, because they'll never know. But I think doing the card is the way to getting the card out is the way to go. And from talking to some people, I don't think you don't want to use like an X-Acto knife or anything like that to cut it out. I think you really just gotta bend it slowly and try to tear it off, because what I heard was, and I could be wrong about this, but I did speak to a sports card dealer out here. But if you cut along those perforations, I think it can be considered not gradable or like trimmed essentially. So, and I saw one. If you guys look, there was one on eBay. I think the one PSA 9 that was listed for $18,000, and best offer was accepted, I think, around $11,000. But those, I mean, you can see clearly all those perforations, and it's not like it looks super clean or anything like that. I think so. I don't know. I think the play is probably in the cards, you know, especially if you have them. I would say probably grade them. Take them out and grade them. But be careful. I think that's, and if you can watch for his video to see how that went for him. But I think you did a pretty good job for it. I think you did a pretty good job with it.
Oh, thanks, man. I mean, I figured like, you know, I bought the magazine for what, $8, and I don't know. I thought it'd be fun to kind of just roll the dice and see what happens. There's a PSA 2 going on sale for $66 if you guys want it. But anyway,
yeah, I think that's the toss up about whether you sell the magazine for $300-400 or you take the card out and end up going lower. But I think the hype will come back. I mean, really, the hype was really high like a week or two ago, and then the price have come down a little bit. But I think it's going to come back, especially when he gets into the league. So.
Well, I'm hearing, most people, I guess there's a thing, again, I don't really follow sports, so I need y'all to help me with that. I guess, they're saying that, the hype he's being overhyped right now. Whenever they're overhyped, they get in the league and just don't produce. So it's like, is he really like the LeBron second coming? I mean, I'm getting all that kind of shit. Like, there's no way, like they're really kind of looking past him and looking at Bronny. That's what people are doing. Like, you're saying, okay, Bronny's the one to grab, or start looking at over the Victor Wembanyama dude. What are y'all thoughts on that?
I told this to Vinny. I think there's a video of him playing one-on-one against Kenny Lofton Jr. and he's getting schooled. I mean, he's taken him to school. So I mean, it's it's a one-off game. Maybe he had a bad night, whatever. But there's definitely a little bit of craziness with him. I know Chet Holmgren getting injured last year. Like, I feel like he's a better player, but that's just my kind of experience watching Chet Holmgren for a whole year playing college basketball. I would rather invest money in Chet Holmgren than Wembanyama because the hype is just so high already. But that's just my opinion.
To my point,
Trey, what are your thoughts on the card, like taking the card out and just like Victor Wembanyama in general?
Man, I mean, I've had lots of multiple conversations with people about it, probably the same as you have, and I just don't know what the right play is. I definitely think getting a couple of them in card form and getting them graded are worth the gamble, but at the same point in time, I mean, I just don't know how to get it out and make it look right. It's kind of like what you're talking about. I mean, there's some services that actually do the perforation and do all that stuff for you, but I don't trust it. I'm not going to pay somebody to do that. So my main issue with it is just, do you grade the magazine, which I don't think is the right play? Do you grade the full page of the cards? Or do you perforate it and grade the singles? And we got to make a decision pretty quickly. I got quite a bit of money invested in a lot of those 42 of those fucking SI covers that I have. So, and I got 6 or 7 of them that are really, really centered, and I mean, have a chance at some 9s. And I mean, I don't know if you'll ever get a 10, but I mean, I got a couple that are perfectly centered and all the way around. So, do I try to do that and make my money back, and then just everything that happens post getting that sold, just gravy? Do I sit on them? I don't know. I think that's what's kind of fun about that whole card is I don't know if you guys seen, but I mean, that Slam Deck card's doing really, really well right now too. I saw a 9.5 SGC go for 400. I mean, quite a few sales in the 150 to 180 range. The Bowman, the Inception, and the Bowman Chrome University. I mean, I saw a redemption go for 1,400. I guess it was earlier this afternoon. I mean, that doesn't look like that's slowing down any at all. And to Marcus's point, yeah, I mean, he definitely could come in the league and fail, but at 7'5" with the skill set that he has, I mean, he's not going to come into the league and drop 25 a game. If he comes in and gets 12, 10, and 3 his first year at 20, that's saying something. You gotta look in the next. I mean, Braun had a pretty big impact in Cleveland because Cleveland was shit at that point in time. I mean, literally, they had Damon Jones, and that was about the extent of what they had on their roster at the time.
That's right.
So, I'm not gonna invest in Bronny at all. I think, at one point in time, Marcus Jordan and both of the Jordan kids were highly rated high school players, and now they're fucking Scottie Pippen's wife. So it never played in the league. You can look at Scottie Pippen's son. Dwayne. Remember, everyone was all hyped up about Dwayne Wade's son, the other one, not the not the one that changed, but. It's just, does he have a chance of playing in the league? I think 100% he does. He's 6'7", runs pretty good, shoots pretty good, but I definitely would think twice before I invested any money on Bronny. I could be wrong, but I just don't know if that's how it works. I guess the only court would be King Griffey Jr. King Griffey was a very, very good baseball player, made a couple All-Star games. Then obviously his son was a completely different level of baseball player. I just don't know if it'll be interesting to see how Bronny does at USC when he's able to go, because his team was stacked and he never won a state championship. You go back and look, they bounced around some different things, but every team he was on wasn't super successful in the end. So I don't know. I think it's a lot of Braun hype for the Bronny stuff, but again, I could be fucking wrong.
Yeah, I think Bryce is the one that everybody thinks is going to be the
he's gonna be
better ball player.
Yeah.
What is he? 14 is already. I watched some of his.
I think he's 14
it was a
or
Reebok.
15.
He's tall
like
too.
You said, he's got that little bit of something that you can tell that even Bronny doesn't have. So who knows? That's what makes this fun. Is you never know who's gonna fucking come out of what. Look at Jokic. He was a second-round pick. Everyone thought that guy was out of shape. He was never going to make the league, and now look at him. He's arguably the best player in basketball.
Yeah.
Who can stop him?
Chet Holmgren.
And like I said, I want Chet to be as good as trust me.
Dude, Trey. He's a baller, and he's got a anger behind him, man. When he's healthy, when he's back next year, you're gonna be happy with him. I guarantee you. Yeah,
I watched him play at Gonzaga a little bit. He's soft. He's not gonna. He's able to block shots, which is going to be good. It's going to help our defense out. But I don't think he's Akeem Olajuwon, and I'm not the biggest fan of having 7'2" guys take a shit ton of 3-pointers, which that's what he does. But I'm excited to see. It's just the amount of excitement I've had about basketball prospects and have been let down over the last 4 or 5 years is pretty high.
Pretty high, man. Yeah, for real.
The
one thing about Wemby is I think that we can't overlook that he's going to San Antonio.
Yeah.
They're going to take care of him, I think, They're going to look after him. They're going to they're going to see his deficiencies and, attack those, whether it's his size or that, They'll take care of him. If they see him struggling, they'll pull him out probably and work on him. That would be the thing that it's okay, they want him, they can see, and they know what to do with him. If he was going somewhere else, I might be worried that he's going to snap. Because that's the biggest concern I have. He looks just so frail.
He would have been cool at the Rockets because, we had Yao Ming, so, we know how to take care of tall people. But that would have been...
Yao was bigger. That was the thing. Yao was was solid. Big. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a fragility when you see Wemby when he runs, and you're just like,
He's got a KD game though, right? Wemby, he can dribble, he can pull up, he can create his own shot.
That's right.
Yeah, but Yao came to Houston eating red beans and rice and French's chicken and at the hookah lounge and and just doing all the things that Houstonians do. So he would have came to Wemby would have came to Houston and got some meat on his bones. It's okay. We got to.
I think that's drive on over. One thing.
San Antonio right up the street. He's gonna get some churros and some tostadas and name some other Mexican food that you can get.
Chicharrones. Chicharrones.
The hell is that?
Chicharron, pork rinds.
Why don't you just say pork rinds?
Because it's Anyway, back to the.
He's got to eat that rice as well. He's got to get the carbs on there, man. He's got to get a bit bigger there.
Marcus made me mad. Real quick on just the magazine market, real quick. I just want to highlight these two. I thought were kind of interesting picks here. So a Beckett #1, Michael Jordan, the first ever 9.8 went for $355, which I think is a pretty good price. Being a Beckett collector and all that.
9.8.
And 9.8, yeah. There was a few actually.
Man.
That seems low.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, it seems really
real
low, right?
low.
Yeah. I mean, it's Jordan on the cover. It's the first Beckett ever, so kind of like that same Wizard and this Nintendo Power 6.0 went for $405, which I thought was a pretty good price. I don't know if this was a I don't think it was a newsstand because they didn't have newsstands for Nintendo Power #1, did they? I'm not sure, but 6.0, I thought that was pretty fair. I wouldn't crack it and press it again, but just to have it, I think that was a good price for entry. Anyway.
Okay, can you? I'm sorry. Can you put up what Maxine said? He said send them to Timmy Chan's for wings and rice. If you're from Houston, and when you guys come to Houston, I want to take you to the hood where you can get Timmy Chan's, which is a hood special. You will get 6 wings and fried rice with, watch this, brown gravy. Hood brown gravy, like, like the gravy they put on meatballs. They put it over the fried rice, and it causes heart attacks like this. But you get all this for like $8, and the wings are like as big as your arm. Just tell
Sold.
Victor to come to Houston. Just tell Victor to come to Houston. I got him. We're gonna feed him. We'll get him ready
Sold.
for San Antonio.
Hey Marcus, is Papa Do's considered hood? Because I know about Papa Do's.
Papa Do's it depends on what Papa Do's you go to. If you go to the Papa Do's on 610 by the NRG Stadium, then that is the hood Papa Do's. You're liable to see some partying going on, some drinks being shared, and you probably could leave out with a little female after the fact. If your game is strong, I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen at Papa Do's. Absolutely.
Sounds excellent.
I think Atlanta Papa Do's probably kind of hood. Yeah.
There's one in Atlanta too. I thought it was.
There's 2 of them. There's two or 3 of them. Yeah.
Not the one in Buckhead.
There's no Papa Do in Buckhead, bro.
They told me it was a Papa Do's in Buckhead. I didn't go. They told me it was a Papa Do's in Buckhead.
They're lying to you.
Oh, okay. Well, then there it is. I don't know.
Cool.
I don't know. Papa Do's. Yeah.
Papa Do's. Next segment, we'll do some places in Houston.
We call it something else, but I can't say it on the podcast. But just know that we call it something else.
Cool. So Terrifier 3, it came out, or there's an announcement it's coming out soon. And actually, Ralph, you posted Terrifier, like the first one, VHS, which is the one that's here, like a long time ago.
Yeah, it was actually Terrifier 2, the VHS.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was two different VHSs. One was 1 out of 100, or out of 100. The other one was out of 50 or 150. But yeah, pretty limited.
Yeah, and how much was it going for retail when you were talking about it?
I think it was like $50, something like that. But this was back in October.
Yeah,
around that time, October time frame.
So I found this on, I believe it was like Etsy or not an eBay website, but they were asking $250 for it. Yeah. And with the popularity of this crazy freaking movie, I can't even finish this damn movie. It's way too gory.
Yeah.
It's got a weird cult following. It's a really weird movie. Have you guys ever watched this movie before?
I know nothing about it until y'all said it. I can't wait to watch it. I love scary movies. Where can I find it? Can I find it? Like
it's on Amazon Prime. You can watch the first one on Amazon
you can
Prime.
Watch it free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one you can. I think the second one you might have to pay. But the first one is definitely on there.
Is it like super gory? Like I love scary movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's everything. Oh, it's too much. I don't know. It
definitely gory. But I mean, obviously the story, it's not really about the storyline or anything. It's about the main character, Art the Clown. Obviously he's the character that's driving the franchise. He's kind of turned into this I don't want to call him like a Jason or a Freddy, because they're popular, but he like you said, Ferd, he has a cult following. He hasn't really gone mainstream yet, but I think eventually he might get there. Yeah, I can definitely see I can definitely see why it's going for 250.
And it seems like one of those like movies franchises. They're just gonna make like 6 of them, and it's just gonna keep going.
Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to bring that. We didn't really have a lot on the movie plate this week, but that kind of had me thinking. Sports cards.
Yeah. Yeah. So my thought process this week was, kind of switching it up. We talked baseball, we talked football, prospecting, all that. So I figured with the European leagues coming to an end, now it's kind of comparing it to when baseball season ends. You kind of want to pick up these low key buys just to kind of stash. This first The first card on the far left, if you guys been keeping up with the news, Folarin Balogun, he just committed to play for the United States. He was kind of up in the air with playing with England. I think I forget what the other country was, but he's committed to the United States. And do you guys collect soccer cards at all?
Not really.
No.
I have like 2.
Do you guys know who Kristen Pulisic is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I follow football.
Okay, football. So we call it soccer. But if you follow Kristen Pulisic, you understand that the American soccer card market is really behind them, and they're really behind United States soccer players in general. They hold on to their cards; they don't really flip them. So this Prism rookie card goes for about 25 to $30. So it's not a bad play if you want to pick him up. Hold on. He's 22 years old. He's coming off a season where he scored 20 plus goals in the French league. The French league isn't considered top tier like La Liga, like the EPL, but 20 goals in a European league is something. So with the World Cup coming up in about 3 years, I wouldn't be surprised if if he really makes a name for himself with the United States national team, that his card definitely sees an increase in value. I know, Trey, you've been on him too.
I think you're 100% right. What a lot of people, I mean, casual soccer fans or football fans, whatever you call them, don't realize, United States is decent defense. They have some pretty decent midfielders, but we have been very, very poor at the striking position for our whole life. I mean, outside of, Landon Donovan, Clint Dipsy, even Pulisic, they're not bad, but they're not prolific goal scorers. We've never had one. And this kid that, he signed to Arsenal. He's loaned out to another team in the French league right now that I can't pronounce. But he played for the U.S. under 17 a couple games, U.S. under 18 a couple games. Then he did a little stint in England. And like Ralph said, he finally signed on for the U.S. men's national team. And we have, with Gio and a couple of other people we have in midfield and everything else and our defense, if this kid is half as good as he's advertised, he has a chance to be the greatest American striker of all time. I mean, he's fast. He can use both feet. I mean, he's smart. I mean, he's the perfect striker. And I mean, even after that last World Cup, I mean, we were one of the youngest teams there, and it didn't play too bad. So
yeah, and another thing with the United States men's national team cards is sometimes the performance on the field doesn't really correlate to the value of what people put on these cards. So if you're in it strictly to flip, you can pick one of these cards up, hold on to it, and definitely, if you got it graded, you can set it at a high price, and it would definitely get bought. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed Gio Reyna, his cards on eBay, they get bought up quick, especially the PSA 10s, the refractors, the Topps Chrome. They get picked up super quick. They don't last that long. So when the United States fans get behind a player, they definitely swoop up those cards.
For sure.
Nice.
That's hard.
Yeah, and so with the soccer transfer market opening up in August, this middle card here is Rafael Leao. He plays for AC Milan. He didn't have the best season, but he did have a good World Cup with Portugal. So there is talks of him possibly going to Chelsea, possibly going to Manchester United, Real Madrid. So you kind of want to get ahead of the curve and picking up these. Obviously, you want to keep track of what's going on in the transfer market, but obviously the card's going to spike if a Real Madrid comes in and buys them up. So And that last card to the far right, this is Evan Ferguson. If you guys watch, do you guys watch the EPL, English Premier League?
EP what?
EPL.
I painfully
Yeah,
watched the EPL.
You do?
Yes.
Okay.
In a
So
bad
do you
season for me.
have you been watching any Brighton games?
No. I'm a
Okay, so
Chelsea supporter since a kid, so
I
it's been
think Wade is
tough.
a Chelsea supporter too,
Wait.
right?
It's been very tough.
Okay, so this kid, he's 18. He didn't play many games. I think it was about 16 games. He scored 6 goals, but he's 18. He's Irish, but he's played a couple games with Ireland, but he hasn't fully committed. His mom is English, so there is opportunity of him playing with
Okay.
England, and with
Yeah,
Harry
yeah.
Kane, kind of on the way out. This guy can be a Harry Kane. He's tall. He's not a Harry Kane type striker. I would say he's more of a Ibrahimovic. If you guys are familiar with Zlatan Ibrahimovic, so you can definitely pick up his rookie card on the cheap. And like I said, he's 18, so lots of room to grow.
Good stuff, man.
Great stuff.
Arsenal.
I love it.
Lol.
Um, these are like far out like spec, but I was looking at prices for sealed Zelda. I just got a Switch for my birthday, and so I was looking at just sealed original, Zelda the first game, and they were going for like $70 to $100, and so I was kind of curious. And I saw a CGC 9.8 go for like $250, $300, and I didn't do a huge deep dive, but other than Zelda, like Mario's probably like a pretty mainstay franchise. Metroid's kind of weird, but I was thinking of just Switch being kind of that next. I know it's like really far out as far as like grading and investing is concerned, but might be something to kind of look into, especially like there's a Zelda Breath of the Wild like Commander Edition. It's a black box, and it goes for anywhere from like 1,400 to, I've seen listings at 2,000 asking for 2K, but if you can get that graded, I mean, if you can wait on it like a few years, that might be a nice return if you got the money to put into it. I know it's kind of tough, and it's really early, but just something to kind of look after. I thought was kind of interesting to see.
So some of the Breath of the Wilds have gone for a lot. Actually, like a watt of 10 went for 8,400. That was a second production, and another a few more of them sold in the $3,000 range. But keep in mind, guys, that you have to get like a really high grade on these. The best way to get the highest grade on these Switch games is actually getting them right out of a case pack, if that's even possible. And the other thing is, on any of these first releases, I've mentioned this before, you want to look for 00000 5 zeros on the back, or 00100 on the back, which designates the day one edition of these games. Otherwise, I mean, you may not be getting really what you want, or like money wise on a flip. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. If you get like a second production Breath of the Wild or something like that, it would just have to grade high for you to really make any money on it. But I think they're great spec plays though, for sure. But keep going.
No, yeah,
Zelda's amazing.
Is it pretty cool?
New Zelda's amazing. It's going to be a big game. It's going to go down in history as a big game.
I got to stop by and try to get one of those day one editions of that. I meant to. I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, there was the special. They had like a deluxe edition in Japan that came with stuff. It was a weird thing. Like there was one of those sellers, one of those Japanese anime toy stores. They also do games. They could sell you that deluxe set, but it didn't include the game.
Yeah, I saw that on eBay too. I thought that was weird.
I was like, and that supposedly it's something they're because of the way the Switch Nintendo distributes. If they sell like these, Japan is so like they follow the rules, right? So strictly, like the store is like, oh, we've been told we're not allowed to sell this game to the overseas market because it's for the Japanese market. So they literally take the game out and go, you can buy the rest. It's a bit weird.
Yeah.
So if you want that collector's edition with the Japanese game in it, You might have to go through Yahoo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Other ones on eBay I saw just didn't have the game in it, which I thought was just odd. But
Right?
I guess we got our answer now. What other franchises other than Mario and Zelda you guys think are like good ones to get into?
For Switch, I mean, definitely the Super Mario Odyssey. I'm trying to think of what the other. I liked Metroid Prime, that or whatever that was, whatever that new Metroid was. I did just
That was a
grab
good
it.
game. It was fun.
Metroid
Yeah.
Dread. Metroid Dread.
Metroid,
Dread.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Bayonetta's.
Bayonetta. Like I would
Oh.
definitely go Bayonetta. Wow. Okay.
Oh, I would.
I
Yeah,
probably
we
would
open
go
Marcus
Bayonetta.
9 now.
Oh,
Bayonetta.
I think
We're talking about the game, right? Yeah.
Pokemon you can never really go wrong with. Probably staying on. I mean, Mario Kart probably.
okay.
Those are probably the biggest ones, though. I can't think of like
Yeah.
too
Well,
many.
of course, I can't show it. It's not there.
Oh, there we go. Just
Smash Brothers.
Smash Bros.
yeah, Smash Bros. I mean, I literally like texted my nieces and nephews, asked them what games they wanted, and they mentioned all those games. So, and they're kind of the future anyway. So,
Metroid Dread unopened. I got it.
Is
impressed
somebody
with
up on
the
that
Switch.
Hades game that came out?
Huh?
Is anybody up on that
Hades?
game? Hades came out for the Switch. I was just curious about it. I had seen it one day.
I saw it, but I didn't really look into it.
What's that?
I saw a preview for it. I didn't see any gameplay for it actually. I was thinking about getting that though.
Got it.
I'm finna now.
It's got a Diablo thing going on.
I grabbed this the other day. It's a PSP game, unopened. Monster Hunter.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was being that they
Monster Hunter is huge in Japan.
Yeah.
Like it is huge. Yeah.
Unopened PSP, baby.
So is
I bought a PSP to play that.
I know,
78 Fire Emblem is really big out there too.
Yes.
Like just in Asia.
Yeah, Fire Emblem is and like the JRPGs, they hit hard there, right? They hit hard there. The Dragon Quests,
Yeah, Fedora
this is like all time in Japan,
Yep.
And it just doesn't, nobody outside Japan plays that shit. It's just it is generic in a way, but it's just a really good JRPG if you like that format. Yeah.
And just kind of to end this, Brains he sent a preview in the Discord about of the Legend of the Rings Magic of the Gathering game coming out, and what I noticed in the Discord was everyone was dropping their pre-orders for that Legend of the Rings Magic of the Gathering game coming out this summer. I think it was due to some type of print run or something, but what we talked about like 3 or 4 months ago, and just the whole One Ring type stuff, but it sounds like a lot of people aren't going to be going for it. Wade right here just not very happy about it. So I kind of went with the Discord and because I was thinking about buying just a box of one of the boosters, but I think I'm going to pass just based off of what everyone was talking about in the Discord.
Yeah, I canceled my pre-orders a couple weeks ago just because everybody was talking about the print run. So I mean, and I think they're already priced at like $450, right, for a box.
It's something insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean they look cool. Did you?
Once Wade said, he's like he said, I guess they had some cards that they said were going to be in some of the boxes, and then they've changed it. There's going to be some special edition stuff that they're going to re-release, and Wade knows more about that Magic shit than any of us currently. So when he said he dropped his pre-orders, and I think he had 2 or 3 boxes from a store in Dallas pre-ordered. So it just now it'd be cool if you got one of the One Ring cards, but the odds of getting them are just so astronomical. And Hasbro's done some fuck shit lately too, so you can't really trust Hasbro to do the right thing. So
yeah,
I don't know. $400, like you said, it's quite a bit of money for a box of cards. And I think I got other shit I can do.
Now,
the guy who was in charge of Wizards of the Coast, now he's the top dog in Hasbro. Yeah.
So
that kind of fuckery that he was pulling there.
Yeah.
He's doing all kinds of creative things in all the other divisions, man.
If I was going to do anything Magic the Gathering right now, I probably would try to jump on that first run of Secret Lair cards. You know, remember that Secret Lair series when it first got started? I think they're kind of way down the street and around the corner now. But that first Secret Lairs, Super Set 7, whatever the ones, it was like 7 different ones in the first drop. Like I probably would chase that before I chase anything else right now because Magic is unless you're just going for the older cards because that Magic shit
Yeah.
is just in abundance. So it's like I probably wouldn't chase nothing like that unless it's just worth it at this point. That's just my personal opinion.
No, I think you're right, spot on, because that's basically why Wade and canceled his orders on it. So I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's my thought. I probably would do something like that.
And then Trey, we didn't get into this last weekend, but you want to highlight the Pokemon girls from Gen 8?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll pull it up here.
No worries.
Right, Jizzy. They had 36 Secret Lair offerings last year alone. That's why I say, just give me the first one. Give me the first set. Because you know, it's growing legs. It's doing all kind of shit. Give me that first set.
No, I was looking for some Pokemon stuff a couple weeks back, and I came across an article on a website called Den of Geek, and they basically talk about some of the most valuable, Generation 13 Pokemon VR cards, and it's pretty crazy with those Charizard VMAX, the Rainbow, the Secret Rares go from anywhere from you could share this, huh? Talk for a second while I get this set up.
Yeah, I ain't gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. You know what I'm saying?
Don't fall for the banana.
Yeah, we ain't gonna fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Yeah, that's why Vinny looked like a midget.
There we go.
Yeah.
Can y'all see?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, we can see.
See, like one of the high. This is crazy. I didn't realize some of these trainer cards go for what they are, but this Marnie trainers, I mean, $40 to $160 is what you pay in the cost range, which is pretty fucking crazy to me. That's one of those cards that if I got, I wouldn't even realize it was worth $40 at the low end. I think most people who collect Pokemon have seen this Rainbow, Charizard VMAX before. And again, 200 to 375 is pretty decent money for any type of trading cards at all. The Pikachu, the VMAX, same one, 125 to the 310 for the Rainbow Secret Rares. The Tyranitar, 65 to 350. The Blaziken, again, 90. This was the one that's crazy to me, and it's one of the most thought after VR cards that there are. Is this fucking Umbreon Max? Cost range is showing 170 to 1200, but there's been some graded, some high-end graded cards of this go for $2,500 and $3,200 in the last few weeks.
Wow.
The Gengar VMAX, which we actually had one of those in the Raz room a few months back. Again, $90 to $280 for the secret ones. The Giratina, again, look at this one, $310 to $800. That's a pretty good looking card. And it goes back down to the Lugia. I think I'm Lugia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, someone correct me. But the one thing you'll notice about all these high-end VMAX alt cards are they're a majority of them are, in that $300 range, $200, $300 range on the high-end range, which is, there's not a lot of trading cards that you can get right now from sports or anything that live up to the pricing on some of those high-end VMAX alt cards. So that's about all I had about it. I was surprised how expensive the hits were and how well they really do. Like that Umbreon card's fucking nuts. The people go crazy for that thing, and that Rainbow Charizard as well. So
I'm pretty sure I threw away that trainer card.
Oh, see, that's the thing is right. I don't know. If it's not shiny or has some hologram, I assume it's trash. But apparently, some of those trainer cards go for decent money.
Yeah, cool, good stuff, Trey. That was there's so many we made in those newer Pokemon cards, and that Umbreon is just weird. I don't know. All right, ending our segment this or ending the show with this or that. Again, everyone, thanks for coming through. Like thanks for liking the show today and subscribing and supporting us. We do appreciate it. But I had a couple more slides today, just to kind of throw a little fun stuff in here. But these are recent prices that these items went for. $100. What do you guys got?
What is that?
Is that a newsstand Wolverine? I'm taking the newsstand Wolverine one.
Newsstand Wolverine, yeah.
Me too.
Every day of the week.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Beatles, even though I understand, but I'm only going with the Beatles because I have the Wolverine comic already at this point.
No, that's cool.
So I'd go with the Beatles all day. I mean, the Beatles their fans are rabid. You sit on that shit 5 years. Not saying Wolverine fans aren't. You sit on that shit 2-3 years, you've already doubled that shit. Wolverine is kind of fluctuating unless you buy it right now, right before the Deadpool 3 trailer drops and all that shit, knowing that he's going to be in it. And side note, Halle Berry is reprising her role as Storm in Deadpool 3 as well.
A few people, right? From the old X-Men?
Yeah. So, now's the time to, govern yourselves accordingly. Grab all the shit you need to grab.
78, what are you going with?
I don't know that Beatles set. Who made that? Do you know?
All I know is it was a Suncoast video exclusive. I thought it was McFarlane, but the guy didn't list it as McFarlane.
No,
he just said
there's a logo there. I can't quite see what it is.
Yeah, I don't. I'm sorry, it's not a better picture, but I'm pretty sure it's not McFarlane. But anyway.
I don't know enough about that set, but if it was like a special rare set, I would actually go the Beatles because Beatles fans have money.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of ungraded Wolvies out there. Yes, it's a newsie, but there's a lot of ungraded. Who knows the condition on that thing?
Right. I mean, he listed as near mint, but take it with a grain of salt, right?
So do I.
I'm not gonna lie. Nate says the Beatles fans are dying off. I mean, that I don't know if that's the case, but I will say though that it is a new generation now. So I don't know how much down long term. I'm not sure. I don't know. They are one of the most iconic groups in history, though. So
yeah, I don't think that when you're doing this or that, I don't think that either one of these are long term plays. Like that Wolverine is really. I mean, it's a cool ass book, but it's not a long term play book, right? I mean, it's just not. I mean, it's a dope ass book though. You'll make some money on the book, but is it a 181? Is it a 180? Is it a first appearance of Sabretooth? Is it it's what I'm saying? It's easy to find. It's easy to find, easy to cop. You get that shit at a flea market for $40. So
yeah, I mean, I guess I get your point with that. It's his first miniseries, right? That was the first miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I guess you kind of have that going for it, but
no, it's not as many. That's isn't that the?
I don't know. That Beatles toy, you can take that shit anywhere and it's money.
This is his first ongoing.
Is this first ongoing? Oh yeah, you're right. It is the first ongoing. I always get those two messed up, but I like the cover better.
In some ways, it's like his second. All right, so you had the mini, and then then they did it.
I see.
And then let's make it make sense. What is it? 6 and 7 is the Jim Lee's, the Punisher.
So let's make it make sense. You go to a pawn shop. You take the Beatles toy. You take the comic book. Which one are they gonna give you more money for?
Yeah, the Beatles toys, man.
Probably the Beatles toy, right? Think. Yeah.
That's my point.
That's a good point. That's why I play the game. Cool, thanks, guys.
I love this game.
I remember buying that Wolvie off the stand.
So this one's more of like PC and like just I thought it was random. Static 45.
Super Soaker shit? What is that?
The original Super Soaker.
In the original Super Soaker backpack, but it is open. So
dude, I'm taking the Mobius Static fucking every day of the week and twice on Sunday. That book is impossible to find. It just really is.
Yeah.
And if DC does right by Static Shock, it has a chance to do really, really well. I mean, it's like I said, it's already a $300+ book as is, and not many people even know about it. Static Shock becomes a more popular character down the road. I mean, this is going to see some fucking crazy numbers.
I didn't even know about this book. What I mean, is it just like a variant, or what is the?
No, it's the very last one. The very last one of the run. Yep. And what number is it? 36?
45.
45. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those. It was just in that time frame where people weren't buying a lot of comic books, and people obviously Static Shock wasn't one of the more popular titles. So, and the fact that the Mobius cover, you throw in all those in together, it makes it a perfect storm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Trey on the Static. Even though in a perfect world, and really, Ferg, this is really kind of smart because the original Super Soaker was designed by a black dude. So so it's like you got a thing where it's like, what are you gonna go with on that? I would go with the comic book, just following Trey. But if that Super Soaker was unopened, I would take that Super Soaker all day. First appearance of the Super Soaker. You know what I'm saying? The actual water gun toy, and send that shit off to get graded and encapsulated in some acrylic.
I didn't even think of that. Yeah, that's a good point too, right? I just thought it was fun, man. I always wanted the backpack when I was a kid, so
yeah.
But
when you said it was open, I was like, oh yeah, I'll take the Static.
Yeah. This one was kind of like I love to have that Static comic book all day, but like just the whole nostalgia. I always want that freaking backpack, dude. And I couldn't even find it anywhere, like in Toys R Us. Like I think the one here just didn't sell it. So yeah. Anyway, thanks guys. And then this was kind of a tough one to find, but $1,500. So I kind of talked about the Zelda Breath of the Wild Master pack. This is sealed for $1,500, and then Jimi Hendrix Electric Ladyland opened $1,500. What do you guys think?
Go.
Which one?
I'd go for the Zelda.
Yeah.
These video game guys are fanatics. They overpay for it.
It's a tough one.
I don't know. I think I might take the
talking about-
Jimmy just because.
Yeah, we're talking about Jimmy, fam. Like it's open, but it's still $1,500. Jiminy Hendrix. Okay. Yeah, Jiminy Hendrix. I love it. I don't know, Trey. What you got?
I'm probably gonna go with the Hendrix on that one long term. Short term, you might be able to flip that Zelda and make a few bucks. To be honest with you, if you time it right, especially with all the hype that's going on right now. But that's kind of I guess a two-part question. But if it's a short term, I pick the Zelda. But anything long term, I think the Jimi Hendrix is the one to put your $1,500.
Cool.
Yeah, Jimmy.
All right.
The thing about those collector's edition, and Ralph can attest to this, but I mean, most people open them up for the statues. So finding the collector's editions and the high-end special edition, the one, like I said, there's a fucking sword statue. Yeah. You can't tell everything else. Looks like it comes with a vinyl, a map, and all kinds of different stuff. If you're able to keep those boxes and the cellophane and everything in good condition, and depending on, Zelda's popularity is at an all-time high right now. So,
sure.
You could see a decent return on that if long-term, to be completely honest. But I think if I had to actually put my $1,500 down, I'd put it on the Jimi Hendrix long-term. So.
But where are we getting $1,500? Is that how much it's selling for this Jimi Hendrix?
So basically, I took prices of like sold listings from eBay.
Okay.
And these are where they came from. So it's kind of like a market report, but kind of like, not just saying, oh, this came for this much. This is like, would you pay this much for that? And then like all that. So anyway.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's a little more of a more interactive market report for everyone.
I like it.
Good.
So if you got $5,000, Tiffany's Dunks or outfielder from the Angels.
Is this a base Trout?
It's a base Trout SGC 10. Yeah.
Those go for about $1,500 though, don't they? A PSA 10?
I would say it's not one of the golds or the 25th anniversaries. They go for high, but just a base. I think you're right, Ralph.
Yeah, if somebody paid $5,000 for that base, they got ripped off. That I can't tell on the label,
laundering.
but it has to be like
let's do this let's do this for the sake of argument. Like I get where Ferd is trying to go. Let's say this card particularly is one of the special ones and it's worth $5,000 versus the Tiffany shoes. So he just put any card there that's worth $5,000. Trout and say, okay,
Yeah,
that or the shoes, which one would you go with?
I'd go
I
Trout.
promise. Man.
I'm going with the shoes. I'm not
I'm going
even
with
gonna lie
shoes.
to you. I'm going
Trout,
with the
and here's
shoes.
the thing: if Trout ever gets into the postseason and has a good postseason, the Angels ever make a run or even win a World Series, I mean, he's been the best player in baseball for the last 6-7 years without question. In my personal opinion, he's just been on some really really shitty teams. But and here's the thing: you don't have to. It's not like basketball for whatever reason. You don't have to win a ring in baseball to be considered to put on that pantheon. Perfect example: King Griffey Jr. Go look what his 89 upper deck PSA 10s are going for. Every year they go up by $500-$600. Trout's numbers are just ridiculous. But it also there's so many more of these Trout update cards than there are in those Tiffany Dunks. I mean, it's probably 100-to-1 ratio on rarity from the dunks. So I think on this, I love Trout. Honestly, both items are. I don't think you lose any, but I think those original Tiffany dunks are the where to put your $5,000.
So here's the
These
only
are the
thing
Air
about
Force Ones.
the those. Yeah, the Air Force Ones. The only
Not
thing
the
about
Dunks.
those is
Oh, sorry, my bad.
the fakes on those are rampant, and they just came out. So I mean, I don't know who's gonna pay $5K for those.
There's
Well,
one
Yeah,
bid.
is that what's
so
happened?
like,
Is that what's happened, bro?
well,
Like the
Yeah,
market
those are
was
being.
so scared.
Yep.
That's
well, here's my part
hilarious.
on that. Well, here's my part on that. So, like I said, this is to say, for the sake of argument for Ferret, these are authenticated Tiffany dunks. This is an authenticated
Forces.
$5,000 trout
Forces.
card. Whatever.
My bad. Forces. Yeah.
Tomato,
Next time I'll
tomato.
put the description. Next time. I apologize, guys.
Tomato.
I was
Carry on how
yeah,
you will. All I'm
but
saying is that it's not a scam. It's not the fakes. It's the actual real shoe. Like
I
it's
mean
just same thing with the
Oh yeah,
Witherspoons.
it is the
it
real shoot, but
showed on the eBay sale. I mean, like I didn't. I mean, obviously I didn't. But yeah, I mean, assuming that, yeah, I mean, there was like 12 pictures of it. It looked pretty legit to me. I don't know, but you're saying, Ralph?
no, I'm just saying that somebody might pay $5K for these, but the odds of, I would say, 100 different people paying $5K for those shoes is not that high, but 100 different people paying for that Mike Trout, I think that's more likely.
That's a good point too.
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a shoe head, but I know a bunch of shoe heads that will drop stupid money in a heartbeat for authentic whatever. Like even I got some I got the Witherspoons in my closet, and I they just continue to go up in price, whatever the case may be, right? And I got people that'll try to. I'm not a shoe head, so somebody try to offer me $1,200, $1,500 for the shoe. In a normal instance, I'm gone with it. But my son is like, no, don't sell them, don't sell them. They're gonna continue to go. Keep hold on to them.
There'll be a
All right.
point those shoes are going to fall apart, though. Sell them before that midsole crack.
Just wear them, Marcus. Just wear them out.
You should run in them.
Take them out once a month. Walk around the house in them, and put them back in the box. Don't go outside. And just say, "New, just try it on in the store."
Yeah.
Those are good choices, Bird. Those are really good ones.
Thanks.
With the Witherspoons.
Yeah, the one thing about the sneaker things is, and a baseball card is, for me, the baseball card, the market is America only, right? And shoes is international.
Yeah, facts.
Right, and that dunk, shit, you got me saying dunk.
I think
that
if
Air
you had
Force
the dunk
One,
up there,
that Air Force One, and it's talking about stupid money and stuff. And I made the joke that at that Atmos store, those 50-year-olds walking in there wearing the Panda Dunks, they're the people who are buying Yeezys and things like that. They're people with money, and they don't know. They're like, oh, that's the Tiffany. All right, $5,000, boom. If you know the right connect, it's an easy flip.
They got it. Yeah.
I can't sell a Mike Trout PSA 10 here.
Yeah.
So there is that, right?
Yeah, it's in the collaboration with Tiffany's.
Who's the first guy to interview Nikki Diamonds for the dunk way back in the day? Look that up on Sneaker Freaker.
Was it you?
Maybe.
Ain't dropping.
That
that's all I got,
guys. For a while.
Cool. Well, that's all. Thanks, fellas. That was something I've been trying to do, and I appreciate you guys contributing to that segment and the chat as well. I think we got the chat pretty excited about that too. So good
Yeah, that was
stuff.
dope.
Thanks, guys. Any closing thoughts from anybody?
French Open is going on. If you're looking to pick up Carlos Alcaraz before he ends up winning that tournament, right now might be a good time to pick up it's the the base red shirt is the one that I think is the most popular. Did you pick any of those up, Trey?
I did not, unfortunately.
No. Okay.
Cool. All right. I guess that's our show tonight, guys. Thanks again and for joining us today. And have a great rest of your week. I'll be doing my show on Sunday with Pickles. He's not in the chat right now, but my wifey she was cool with it, so I guess I'll keep the show going. And yeah, she didn't divorce me yet, but anyway, no, it's been cool being married and stuff. So anyway, it's only been a week, but it's exciting.
Only been a week. Good luck.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Congratulations again, dude.
Thanks, man.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
again, man.
Yeah, of course. Thanks. All right. Yeah, have a good week.
Take care.